everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to my impromptu weekend reading vlog. I don't know when I'm going to put this video up, and I'm also filming another vlog in conjunction with it, but I got some bummer news that I was exposed to COVID. Don't feel bad, I feel fine. I feel like kind of a sore throat, but I also think that I could be making it up just because I'm not even stressed about it, but I'm just like, oh my god, what does this stretchy mouth mean? Because I have had a few friends have it and they didn't have any symptoms, and I know that it can go both ways, but until I find out for sure if I have it or not, I need to stay home for the weekend. And I actually had plans this weekend, pretty much every day this weekend, and so I'm more bummed about that because I've really been missing my community and spending time with people than I am that I might be exposed. Also, waiting on the election stuff is stressing me out, and so I just want to lose myself in books. It is still the beginning of my workday, I have a whole workday to go, but I'm listening to an audiobook today, and it's gonna be, I think, a historical romance weekend for me. That's what I'm feeling. I read a couple of them this week and I'm just really vibing with it. So besides needing to finish The Duke and I, which is what my other reading vlog is about, is reading The Duke and I wanted to do one because I know you guys like reading vlogs and I don't film them that often. And so I don't have a super specific TBR yet. Maybe in the next clip I will, but I just thought I'd tell you what I'm currently reading right now because I finished reading When the Duke Was Wicked last night. Which is one I've had on my Kindle forever, and I have a physical copy, and I bought it on audio. It was by Lorraine Heath, and I really, really liked it. I'm also 100 pages into 7 Nights to Forever by Evangeline Collins, so I'm planning to finish that this weekend. Evangeline Collins, I know she has another pen name, which I can't remember right now. Some of my viewers know. But her other book is Her Ladyship's Companion under this title, and they're both about prostitutes. One of them's about a male prostitute. This one is about a female prostitute and the married man that is coming to see her every night for a week. I don't generally like cheating novels. Most of us don't. However, both of the books in this series have it, and I have been okay with it in both of them just for how the book is set up. But this one so far, he's been coming to see her every night and they haven't done anything yet. But yes, I'm really enjoying it. It has this aching longing to it that I really love in books. And then the other one, which I'm planning to listen to, is 3 Weeks with Lady X, which is one of the last Eloisa James I have left to read. I just read 4 Nights with the Duke, and I really, really liked it. And this is another one from the Desperate Duchesses by the Numbers series. Man, she made that title really long. And I'm planning to do an Eloisa James deep dive, so that is another reason why I'm wanting to finish this last one, and I bought the audiobook so that I can take that on. So I don't know what this weekend is going to look like, but I figured I would just start this just in case, and then, if it doesn't end up being finished, it doesn't end up being finished. But there's so often where I think about starting a vlog lately, because I used to vlog weekly. For a whole year I vlogged weekly, and it just ended up being too much because I read so much, and that's why I do the weekly wrap-ups now. But I know you guys like them, and since I'm planning to mostly read historical romance, I thought it might be nice to theme it, and we'll start recording. And since I'm stuck at home, we'll see what I have to say about it. But those are the 2 that I'm in the middle of, as well as The Duke and I. But I want to read another Lorraine Heath, I think, as well as I haven't read a Lisa Kleypas in forever. And I have my whole beautiful rainbow shelf that I'd like to read 1 or 2 off of that. So that is the plan. So we'll check in later. Hey, oh my gosh, I just had my headset off, so it's whatever. Couple things we're gonna do right now. First, I finally got this package. So I won this giveaway from Lindy Robinson Photography. I follow her TikTok, and she had a giveaway that if you went to her Instagram, you could sign up for. And so I did, and with it, I won a book, which has one of the covers that she did. And I'm so excited. And she takes the cover photos. And this one is actually signed by the cover model, which is adorable. So I'm really excited. This is a military romance, and I definitely want to give it a try. Oh my gosh, it looks really sexy. Sorry, my camera work is all over the place. But then I got a bunch of cute camera stuff with it. I got some like bookmarks. There's a bar of soap that's a camera. This cute little like photograph holder, which is, all of this stuff is gonna be great like photograph stuff, which is really cute. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is that I decided to help me pick some more historicals to read, which I did end up grabbing a cover of it. I'm like 40 pages into this, which I'm gonna be listening to this book. But I decided to do, now that I have the color-coded bookshelf, which is something I've always wanted to do, and it's kind of like uniform, I decided to do the thing where you ask people to send you 2 numbers. So I asked for numbers 1 through 5 and then 1 through 30, which is about how many are on each shelf. I have books behind the books in front, so for like the first shelf, nobody picked one that was far enough in that I had to worry about anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and just grab all of these ones and then see which of those I want to read. So let's go ahead and do it. I guess I'll just stand here and hold you because I don't know how else to do this. Hold on. I have my angle is, I don't know. I'll show you the books I get. So let's see. I had 1 and 4. So this is If You Desire by Cressley Cole. So this is the second book in the trilogy. So I'm just gonna go with it. You can read these books. Actually, so I have the first one in the series right here. So I think for that one, I will cheat and grab the first one. That might happen. I'm just warning you because my books are all out of order. So if I get one that I know which one's the first, I'm not gonna like start out of order, right? Okay, then I have shelf 2 and book 11. I'm going in kind of order. Oh, interesting choice. So this is the Kavanaugh's book 2. And I don't know if I have the first one. Let me check. The Kavanaugh's. The Designs of Lord Randolph Kavanaugh. I don't know if I think this might be the first one. So I'll just grab this one. And if I end up having the first one, I'll grab that one. But I'm just going to make this stack and see what we have, right? Okay, so then there is a 215. Ooh. So I counted as if the 11 was still there. So I got a Judith McNaught, Once and Always, which I haven't read. I love the cover on this, really pretty. So let's go with that one. All right, down to shelf number 3. So we have 3, 14, 17, or no, we have 14, 15, 17, I like 19. Let's go through these. So 3, let's start with 3, 14. Okay, oh boy, it's gonna be interesting. So book 15 I have already read, so we just won't take that one. But I grabbed 14, which is Courtney Milan, Unclaimed. Now I know there's one before this. I have that one, but we'll see if I need to read that one in order. And Anne Mallory, and this one is For the Earl's Pleasure. I've read one Anne Mallory and I loved it, so I've been collecting hers. Ooh, this works out well. So this is book 2 in the Rogue Files. I actually want to read The Duke Effect, and I haven't read this yet, so this might be a good one. So that one was 23, and then I have 27, which is, ooh, a Laura Lee Girk, which I haven't read one. This is The Truth About Love and Dukes. This is really tearing up my red shelf because you guys all picked that one. Okay, so then we have shelf 4. So now, so this one is No Good Duke Goes Unpunished, which is book 3 of The Scoundrels. And I don't want to read these ones out of order. And so the first one and this one is One Good Earl Deserves Another. So I'm going to grab, sorry, I'll show you. This is the one that got picked, in case you can't see. But I'm going to grab, oh wait, that's the second one. What's the first one? A Rope by Any Other Name. Where are you at? Where are you at? I know I have you. Because I have all the Sarah McLean. Where is it? Ha! So this one is the first one. So I'll grab that one. I am tearing everything up. Okay, so that was for 11, and then I need Fiend. So this is another Stephanie Lauren, but this is the, I'm pretty sure this one is in the series too. Let me check. So I got Julianne Long. It started with a scandal. And The Outlaw and the Lady by Lorraine Heath, which I am not mad about because I just read a Lorraine Heath and I really liked it. So, these are going to be the ones that I choose from for the rest of this historical romance fun. So, I'll check back in with you and see. I will probably end up doing like a try chapter for each of these and maybe I'll record that. But this is my lunch break. So I just wanted to like do this drawing of these and then I'll get back to you. Okay? Hello, checking in. It looks like I was drinking blood or something because my lipstick's coming off. I filmed a couple videos and I put on red lipstick and then I end up with it all over my hands and smeared on my face. So that happened. But anyway, it is 8:30 at night. I've had a very productive day. So, finished work. We had a workshop at work today. So, mostly I just sat and listened for 8 hours, which is fine. I also finished The Duke and I and filmed my wrap-up of that. That video should already be up. So, there's that. I had a really good time. I got a little bit sassy in my wrap-up clip, but I just get tired of having to defend stuff that I love. And not that I don't want to, but I don't know. It's a thing. Anyway, how's this going? So wow, I was whacking me in the face. This is a bookmark. So I am 100 and some pages into this. I'm listening to it on my phone though. I'm really, really into listening to historical romances specifically because I just love it. And the particular narrator who's been doing the Eloisa James, she does a lot of historical romance, is Rosalind Lindor. And there's just something about the male voices that she does. She does amazing male voices. So, like, the voice she does for the hero in this one is just kind of this, like, breathy, sweet, not sweet, but, like, breathy, rough, enticing voice. And I just love it. It's kind of whispery and super sexy. And I will say this, a lot of times, I like females doing male voices better than males doing female voices, because I just think, I listened to this interview with a narrator once who explained that, like, her register has, like, lowered over time, whereas I feel like guys, it's hard to, like, raise their register. There are some dudes who do great female voices too, like, it's not exclusive one way or the other, but just for the amount of, like, books I've listened to at this point, I really like when a female does a sexy male voice over a male trying to do a sexy female voice. So, random tidbit. What is this book about? I didn't tell you that at all, so let's do that quick. I didn't really know what it was about before. I thought this was actually about a escort, and I'm wrong. The other one I'm reading is about an escort, but this one is about Lady Zenobia India, and they call her India, and then Thorn Daughtry. And so Thorn is the bastard of a duke who's, like, made his own fortune, and he needs a wife. And so
to get a woman to marry him, number one, he's super rich, so there will be some who will take a bite, even though he's a bastard. And number two, he needs his household in order, whatever that means. So Lady Zenobia, Lady India, she is someone who can, like, whip households into shape. Like, that's what she does. So his mother is a, like, friend of her mother or friend of her or something. I'm not sure. And so she gets recommended to do this. And Thorne, like, doesn't really want anything to do with her, but he does want to get married. And he wants children, and, like, he wants those things. So he ends up grudgingly giving in to her, and he wants to have this ball 3 weeks from now and, like, introduce his new household and everything. So it's kind of cool. She's like interior decorating as well as trying to teach him some etiquette / like get him up to scruff. And he's not a stupid guy at all, actually. He's very himself well. But yeah, I'm really liking it. The sexual tension's really good. I'm not a big fan of epistolatory romances. So this one's not, but it kind of is at the same time. So he's really busy with his working stuff, so they're sending lots of notes back and forth to each other. And so it's a little bit like ancient text messaging. So there are chapters where it's her, like, adding stuff to his house, and he's like, why are you spending so much money? And then he'll get a little bit sexual, and she'll be like, stop flirting with me that way, it's inappropriate. And he'll be like, oops, sorry, and then do it again. So right now it's going really good so far. So now I know why it's called 3 Weeks with Lady X. And she wants to get married too, but she wants to marry someone who loves her for her and not for, like, her skills, which is weird. But I like that she has a unique, like, she has an occupation kind of thing. And so she's done this for many households, and she's even helped some people's marriages before, which is so cute. So, oh man, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to dye my hair. It's time. But yeah, so this will probably be the last clip I do tonight. My goal for tonight is, I mean, I'll finish this before I go to bed because I'm listening to it on 2x speed, so I will. And then I want to finish 7 Nights to Forever. So then I will have, like, a clean slate, and I can start on, I have them down there. I can start on some of the books you guys picked. I went and found all the ones that have a audiobook, and I won't buy all of them because I'm buying them, but I will probably buy a couple more of them. But I can't really leave the house tomorrow. I did invite my friend who exposed me over, since we both are already exposed to each other, to watch Jane Austen movies with me tomorrow. So we might do that. And I would maybe, like, read while we're watching, but I just didn't want to be alone because I had these plans to do stuff with her, and then they just are ruined. So I still want to do something. So there you go. This clip was way longer than I meant it to be. I do that all the time, but that is how things are going so far. So hi, I just wanted to film an updated clip real quick because my friend is coming. As I said in the last clip, we're going to watch movies today since we have to quarantine together, but I wanted to do an update. I just finished filming. I look all pretty, right? I even match. I'm cool. I just finished filming my weekly wrap-up, which, like, my weekly wrap-ups have, like, changed so much over time. It's funny. But I waited to film my wrap-up because I finished 3 Nights with Lady X. I didn't finish it till this morning because I kind of went to bed earlier than I thought I would last night. But that's okay. I deserved it. It was good. I gave the book a 4.5 stars. I really liked it. It's one of those where the two characters, like, they just can't get on the same page, but you really understand why they're on different pages. And so even though you just want to be like, get your shit together, I also understood why they're not. So it happens. But yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars and I really liked it. So this morning I did a live stream, a Get Ready With Me, where I did my makeup, which was funny. And a lot of you showed up, which I was not expecting. I thought like 3 or 4 people would be on there and would awkwardly watch me eat breakfast and do my makeup, but it was really fun. And so I showed them the stack of books and I said, which one of these do you want me to prioritize? because I didn't know where to go. And out of the stack of 11, there was 4 of them that people wanted me to prioritize. And I think I'm going to start with A Rogue of One's Own, because Crystal really wants me to read a Sarah McLean, and I want to read a Sarah McLean too, because I really enjoy her, but I've only tried reading one of her books, so I can't say I've made a great attempt at all. And then also The Truth About Dukes, For the Earl's Pleasure, and If You Dare were the ones people met up. So those will probably be the ones that I prioritize. I do still need to finish 7 Nights to Forever, which I probably will right now do that, because that one, the type is really big, and I also don't have an audiobook for that one. So since I'm going to be sitting with my friend and we're watching movies, I can't be listening to an audiobook. So yeah, that's what I'll probably do. I'll probably finish 7 Nights to Forever, and then I will start with A Rogue of One's Own, and I'll probably get the audio for that one, and listen to that tonight. So let's give me again. And check back in soon.
It looks like that. My childhood.
It is. Oop. Yep, that guy looks sketchy. Hair that crazy, you gotta be evil. We are happy today. I have to cover all this because I can't have the music in there, but we watched The Swan Princess, and now we're moving on to Sense and Sensibility.
I'm so glad you've come.
Okay.
How are you feeling, Sarah? She can't taste any of the food I made.
Yeah.
The humor of COVID that we're
COVID's
finding.
great.
COVID. Oh, dude, that's right. Mycroft is in this one. That's Mycroft. Yep, so on to some historical stuff. Here we go. Let's do it. Hi. Sorry for the really weird quality. There was probably really weird quality on the last clips too, because it gets dark so soon. So this time of year, there's not a lot of great natural light to make my vlog clips look nice. But haven't made a ton of progress because my friend just left, and then I needed to get a few chores done because I didn't do anything. But I still have all day tomorrow where I won't be leaving my house. So, you know, this is basically going to be like a 72-hour reading blog for you guys or whatever. I read about another 150 pages of this. This book has about 100 pages left. I don't know if I really told you what this was about at all. I think I did a little bit. I told you it's about a prostitute, but she's not a prostitute so much as because she only does it for 1 week of the month, and it's really sad because she does most of what she does for her brother, because her brother is just making really bad choices, and so she works at this brothel 1 week a month to earn money to pay her brother's debts. And it's actually really heartbreaking. It makes me very sad. It makes me really sad. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. But her name is Rose, and she catches the eye of this guy named James Archer, ends up getting to see her. And the part that's hard is he's married. He's in a very unhappy relationship. His wife sees other people, so it's one of those aristocratic relationships, and it still hasn't went into more details about why, but yeah, I don't know. So the reason why it's called 7 Nights to Forever, so first he sees her 6 out of the 7 nights that she's there for her week, and then when he asks to see her the next night, because he's basically been coming to see her every night, spending a lot of money to come and see her, she says no, and she thinks about just letting it break his heart, kind of, because she is this isn't gonna go anywhere, which is, you know, how's it gonna go anywhere? And then she explains, I actually only come here 1 week a month. It's not because I don't want to see you anymore. And so he's like, you know what? I actually have an estate that is just mine. My wife doesn't come there. I don't bring her there. Would you come and stay with me for a week? So that's actually like, they've only just been at this house for a little bit, and that's happening. But it has some things going on in it that I really don't love. Whereas the other book that Evangeline wrote, I really did. I loved her Ladyship's Companion. It just broke me. And this has that same tension, that same heartbreaking, like, longing, because he's stuck in this marriage and she's stuck being a prostitute to help her brother. And, you know, so there's no good way out of it. But he does that thing where every time she knows something really sexual and really, like, awesome for their relationship, he, like, punishes her a little bit. And I'm really not a fan of that in a man. Like, I am not a fan of seeing him lash out at her that way. Which is the point. Like, he's growing at that. But, like, she just gave him a blowjob. And he's been wanting a blowjob this whole time he's been seeing her. But he didn't want to treat her like a prostitute. So he didn't ask for one or encourage one. And then when she does it of her own volition because she wants to, he immediately, like, leaves the room and, like, looks at her with disgust because he's like, wow, she's really good at giving a blowjob. And it's because she has done it for other men. And I'm just like, you mother effer, like, come on. And so he leaves her, and she just basically, like, is sad in bed all day because she understands why he would be disgusted, but at the same time, she's like, you literally have hired me to be this for you, and then you're mad that I know how to please you. And so I'm really not impressed with him right now. So I need some good grovel from him, but also the story just has so much longing, and I did peek ahead at the end to see, like, does this have an HEA? Because I was pretty sure it did, because the other book by her, also, I was like, how can there be an HEA for this? And it went down to the wire, so I did peek a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to finish this up. I'm still doing a little bit of work. I put it on my Instagram. I guess I'll show you guys. I had ordered this book over a month and a half ago, and it got lost in the mail, and I didn't think I was going to get it. And then it got delivered today, and it is the last book from the Night trilogy that I was missing by Catherine Coulter. If you don't know, Catherine Coulter was my first historical romance author, and I love her. I'm afraid to reread her books, but I also do want to, because I've went through waves of, like, what I like in books, and I think that I might like some of the dubious consent now that I would have hated before, but we'll see. But anyway, it is in almost perfect condition, barely any ribbing on the spine, and it is just beautiful. This version of the covers doesn't have the pretty foil on the front because the Night Shadow and Night Storm, they have, like, the metallic on it, but it's still beautiful. This one, the heroine's name is Ariel, and it's so pretty. So it's way prettier in person too. It's hard to show, like, the back of it, the sunset, and, like, on the horse together. I love it. Then some other books that I had ordered is I ordered Torrid, which is the sequel to Sordid, which is the Taboo book club pick. I'm putting together my Nikki Sloan collection because I adore her. And so then the other one I got was The Rivalry, which I read last month, and I loved it. This one's actually a college romance, sports romance, and I love the tagline on this one is, she won't be able to resist this tight end. Like, I love that shit. It's great. So yeah, those are the books that I got. I did discover that I paid more for Torrid through the site on Thrift Books than I would have, because Thrift Books isn't just used books. Some of them are brand new. But I don't care. I'm happy to have it, and they're beautiful, and God, it just makes me want to reread The Rivalry. I love Jay so much. I just talked about him in one of my videos, but still sticking with the historical. So Since I didn't finish another book, I don't have much else to say. This will probably be the last clip for tonight. But then, same as I plan to start A Rogue by Any Other Name. Probably the audio of that one. And then that's what I'll probably be listening to until I go to sleep tonight. So, pretty excited. Pretty excited.
Hi, good morning. Oh, stretching now.
Just I turned on the camera, I yawn. So, it is the morning, Sunday morning. I will probably wrap this up tonight. We'll see how many I get through. I want to get through at least this one, which I'm this far into it. 138 pages, so I'm about a little over a third of the way into this one. And one more at least. I have the audio for The Truth About Love and Dukes, but I also really want to read the Anne Mallory or the Cressley Cole, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But that's kind of my plan for today. I am watching some Booktube, not specifically romance Booktube right now. I'm catching up on some of my fantasy peeps. I love Leanne's Library. She reads mostly all fantasy and sci-fi, and I also really enjoy Thoughts on Tomes. She's recently gotten into more romance, and so I really like her opinions on it, just coming from someone who hasn't been reading it for that long. I really love seeing people's opinions on that and just like how they're coming to romance, and sometimes people's opinions realizing that they do really like romance because the fantasies that they read, it was the romance that they liked the most, because that's something that happened for me. I mean, I knew that I loved romance because I'd been reading historical romance for a long time. But then when I came to the realization that in the fantasy and the sci-fi, it was the romance that I wanted the most. So I really like that thought on it, right? So yeah, tonight I have my chat with my channel members. I'm really excited to do that. This is the first one. It's exclusive for my fated friend, but 80% of my members all chose the fated friend level. So it's going to be most of them who are in that chat tonight. I'm really excited. I've only had channel members for like 3 weeks now. And it's already been so much fun, and I'm so excited to get to visit with people, and it's good. So yeah, it's good. It's only like 9:30. Still social distancing, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much else to say. Oh, the book. Let's talk about the book real quick. So this is my first serious attempt at Sarah MacLean. I've tried the Wicked and the Wallflower, and I think I just wasn't in the mood for it, was a problem. And so I just wasn't connecting with the characters in that story quick enough. And because I didn't want to end up disliking a Sarah MacLean because I wasn't in the mood, I DNF'd it at the time. I fully intend to go back to it. It just hasn't been in the cards for it to happen quite yet. But anyway, this one is the first book in the second series that she did, The Rule of Scoundrels. So this one is about Michael Thorne, and this is kind of a friends to, I wouldn't call it like enemies to lovers. It's just he's become pretty jaded in the last few years of his life. They used to be really close friends. They would write letters to each other back and forth. So there's a lot at the beginning of each chapter. There's their letters back and forth to each other. And what's happened is that he gambled away his whole estate. And so he spent the last 10 years earning back enough money to get this estate back. Well, now that he has enough money to get it back, the person who won it from him gave it to Penelope's father. And her father is really trying to get her married off because I think she's like 28 or something and not married yet. Which, 28, I mean, so old. But it is pretty old for these kind of books to not be married at all. Like, let's be real. We know that there's a difference between old and now. But so her father makes that property part of the entail for her dowry. So now Thorne is like, okay, well, I'll just marry her. And she's like, you only want to marry me for the land. Tread carefully, my friend. And of course he's like, yeah, that's the only reason I would want to marry you. And we're just like, mistakes were made by all. So that's where we're at right now, is I've just got to the point where that wedding has happened. So I really, really love specifically historical romances. I like it in contemporary too, when a marriage happens early on in a book. I'm a big fan of a married couple having to work through stuff. So this is a marriage of convenience / inconvenience, because he does kind of force her into it. He compromises her by basically kidnapping her for a night, even though she's the one who went there. She didn't know he was there. So he's very roguish and willing to do whatever he has to do. And I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, it's going good so far. I'm writing a couple reviews for NetGalley books, as well as, like I said, watching some Booktube. And then I will be diving more into this. I want to finish this one pretty early in the day so I can read at least 1 or 2 more. And then I will wrap this up. Because I also do, like, my point was I wanted to read some historicals, because they're usually books I get through pretty quickly. But they're also a really good escape for me. Because the issues that they're dealing with are just like, sometimes they're like issues we're dealing with, but they're generally not. But I do have a buddy read I want to start. I'm supposed to be reading Riffs and Refrains with Crystal, which I said we would start this coming week. And then next week I'm doing a buddy read with Bree from In Love and Words, and so I want to make sure I clean up some other books before I get to that. I also pulled out my Scribd membership again, because I don't have Audible Escape anymore, and even though I'll only get a couple books at a time from Scribd, it's like I'm purchasing a lot of my audiobooks right now from Audible, which is good because I'm sure it helps the authors much more than Audible Escape did. So I'm happy to do that, but also I've bought a lot of them lately and I need to supplement just a little bit so that I don't, and I don't need to always buy them all, because with audiobooks, especially the books I listen to, like I have people who share my Audible, but they don't read the same kind of books as me. So like I'm buying a lot of these and listening to them one time and then I won't listen to them again. So anyway, this update got really long because that's what I do. So I'll check back in later, either when I finish this one or when I'm on to the next one. So we'll do that soon. Hello. So a few changes since I last checked in. Number 1, I dyed my hair. So it's hard to tell in this lighting, but I normally have a really like deep red, and this time I went a little more purple burgundy. It's hard to tell in this light, but you'll be able to tell when I have a clip in the sunshine later. But I just wanted to try something a little bit different, but not too drastic. And so over the top of the red, it just got a little more purple, and I really like it a lot. Number 2, I just finished doing my live chat with my channel members. So Chrissy and Stella, thank you so much for joining face to face. It was so nice to get to talk with you. I mean, you all mean so much to me, and getting to chat with you and hang out is really the whole purpose, like, for channel memberships for me. Like, obviously it means a lot to have the support, but anytime when I get to connect with people one-on-one or like in a small group, is really important to me. And then Crystal and Lourdes, they were watching in the chat. Sorry for any like technical difficulties that we had with that, but it was so much fun. Oh, I loved it so much. So yeah, and then I did finish, it's over there now, but A Rogue by Any Other Name. I gave it a 4 stars. It was really good. It was good enough that I definitely want to read the next one, because there's a great setup for the next one. And so I enjoyed that about it. I enjoyed that there was, ooh, there we go. I never sit in this chair, so it's weird. There was a great setup for one of the next sisters, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, it was good. The hero stayed stubborn for a little bit too long for me, and he said some just like super, like, I know heroes do that. I know they say things that don't make any sense. But he actually told the heroine, like, you had a choice about how you ended up here. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, she had no choice about how she ended up here, and you are an ignorant idiot. But also, I don't know. Also, I understood him at the same time because he's lost a lot. So I get in his twisted mind how he might have ended up there, but it was just really frustrating. And then he doesn't grovel enough for me, and the book doesn't even have like an epilogue with them. She didn't do one. It just was like, we're gonna be okay, and I was like, oh, that's not enough for me. I always almost like want to drop a star when someone doesn't have one, but that's not why I did. The hero didn't grovel enough for me, which is hard for me because I feel like Sarah McLean loves a grovel, so I don't understand why there wasn't more of one. But I'm glad that I finally finished one of her books, and it was good enough to continue the series. I think there's going to be some other really great characters, and I feel like she does set the stage pretty nicely for them, so I'm excited about that. And then, yeah, I don't know if I'm probably going to start another one, but I also kind of want to go back to contemporary, so I don't know. But either way, I'll wrap this up tomorrow morning, because I'm not like, my thoughts aren't together enough to just end this right now. And I'll go over what I did read and everything again. But yeah, it's been good. It was really great these last few days to just like focus on historical. And it got me excited to read something else again too, which is kind of what I wanted. Because you guys know how much I read. I can get burned out with contemporary. You can get burned out of any style that you're reading, but I was getting burned out of contemporary because I just read so many, and in the last like couple weeks reading historicals have been so nice. And so it was nice to like just let all my other TBR sit, because I'm already have read half of the books that I need to read for this month, and it's only the 8th, so I got plenty of time to get to them. And the buddy reads I want to do with my friends, it's not time to start them yet, so I'm just kind of like, let me just take a Divergent and read what I want to read. So it was great. But yeah, I will wrap this up in the morning, and we'll see if I start another book or where we go with it. So,
hello. So it's Monday morning, and I think I'm going to wrap up what I was reading. So by the way, here's my hair in pretty color. I really like how it turned out. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Like, I didn't want it to be purple, but I wanted a color that like, it looks red right away. But then when you get close, you can see like the more like purple tints to it. So this is exactly what I wanted, and I love when that happens, when you get exactly what you want. Feels good. But let's go ahead and wrap up this mini historical vlog that I've been doing, and it was really fun. It did exactly what I wanted it to do for me. I took a break from some harder things that I was reading. I just haven't been in like a dark romance mood lately, but as soon as I finished this, I did read Stroke of Midnight last night, as it was just after midnight. So, and I really loved it, so it's not like I'm giving that up. I just, with my COVID stuff, so I don't know if I said this or not, but I did get an email from my friend. She forwarded me her email that she did test positive. So my friend that you saw earlier, she has COVID for sure, so I definitely probably have it. Again, I feel like a little tickle in my throat today, but it's mostly, I don't know, I think it's mostly in my head, but it might not be. So I'm going to be getting tested either later today or tomorrow, but you know, we know how this is. Going back to being quarantined again is really hard, and this just was really helpful. Like, it kept me busy. Last night I had the live chat with everyone, like I said, and that was amazing. So this week I'm gonna really dive into work and hope that work helps me. You know, I'm behind on a couple of things, and yeah, but now I have to put off my dental surgery I was gonna have, which I'm kind of disappointed about, but also I'm glad it'll be after Thanksgiving. But now will I even go see my family for Thanksgiving? I don't know. So anyway, let's wrap everything up just real quickly. So I read 7 Nights to Forever by Evangeline Collins. this was good. I'd probably get a 3.5 or a 4-star just because this is not my favorite kind of story, and it didn't do the same things that her relationship companion did for me, even though it's basically the same story, but like each of them are gender swapped. It was nice to see spousal abuse. I mean, hold on, let me finish. Coming from the woman. So James is emasculated and treated really poorly by his wife. So his family needed the money, and he is of the working class, didn't have a title, but he is rich. And so he married someone with a title to help his sister get a good match. So he did all these things for his sister because they were poor when they were young. And then he's made a lot of money, but you can only buy so much, right? So he married this woman, and the few times that he ever was with her, she really horribly emasculated him. And I think that this is very important to see. Spousal abuse does go both ways, especially in this time. Like it isn't, I'm sure that this woman, because we didn't get to see it from his wife's point of view. So I never want to paint a woman as like a bitch. And also James, he just stays away from her. Like he doesn't snap back at her or do horrible things to get back at her. She gleefully cheats on him for many years, rubs his nose in the fact. Again, the times that he did try to come to her bed, she literally treated him so poorly that he like couldn't get it up. Which, again, if this was from her point of view, like she was pushed into this marriage by her father, and she took the power that she had. The thing is that it was with a man who like would have loved her if she'd shown him any kindness. So it's very hard to see that from a male's point of view because, number one, I really like alpha males. But to me, James was someone who had alpha in him, but wasn't able to put it forward. So we got to see him do that a little bit with Rose. And then Rose, she is doing the profession she's doing 1 week a month for her brother. And then eventually James asked her to, he basically asked her to be his mistress. And the situation that they're in, you know that the HEA, like in her ladyship companion, there was only one thing that was going to happen for that to have a happy ending. And in this one, there was only 2 things that could happen for there to be a happy ending. And we get that. So it just felt like it was very sensual, and I love reading sensual scenes in historicals. So this had some very sexy, good talk about birth control because she's a prostitute and, you know, he's married to someone else. I love seeing those things discussed in historicals. So I had a good time with this. It was hard. I was dragging myself through it a little bit. And I mean, that's never totally fun when you're dragging yourself through a book, but it also was just because it made me ache so much. Like there's a lot of longing in it, and so it like hurt to look at them and be like, oh, you're in so much pain. Please don't be in so much pain. It hurts me. So there's that. But yeah, I'm really glad that I read it. Sorry, I'm checking my notes to make sure I'm good. Okay, so then after doing the whole like you guys help me pick stuff, I read A Rogue by Any Other Name. I listened to this one on Audible. This one was okay. I gave this 4 stars. I said a lot more about this already, so I won't talk too much more about it, but I am definitely excited to read the next one. I just saw in Crystal's Bookish Life that she just read the second one in the series in October, and she really, really liked it. And I can see how that would be good because there's a tease at the end of this one for Philippa's book, for Pippa. Is it Pippa or Philippa? I don't know. And I really want to read it. So I will be continuing with Sarah McLean. I can see hints of why she's great. It's just that I didn't like the hero in this one. Because he was really cruel in a lot of aspects. And I don't mind a jerk hero, but I don't like a cruel hero. And especially as someone who was her best friend and she continually was devoted to him, for him to be cruel to her because he's like, the world fucking owes me something, I'm just not a huge fan of that. And he didn't grovel enough. That's the biggest thing. Like, a lot of interviews I've seen with Sarah, she says groveling is like her favorite thing. And so when he's being a jerk, I was like, ooh, I'm going to get a good grovel out of this one. And then it was just over. And I was like, ooh, Sarah, you talk a big game, but there was no grovel in this. And for how much of an ass this hero was, he needed to grovel at all would be nice. But I did have a pretty good roundup at the end. So then the one that I finished last night was The Truth About Love and Dukes. This was a very unique. This one's set, it's at the tail end of the Victorian era. It's in like 1892. So we do have some aspects of suffrage in this one. However, I was also just mentioning this to Crystal, is that because I really disliked Bringing Down the Duke, because it went way too far in the direction of suffrage for what I want to read in my historical romance. That has nothing to do with me not thinking suffrage is important. I think it is very important, but to me, I want to read about it in a way that, number one, doesn't feel forced into the book, because if I wanted to read a book about suffrage, I would read a book about suffrage. When you're reading a romance set in this time, you're not always getting that type of story. That's not the type of story I'm wanting to read. However, in this one, we have a woman who runs a newspaper and she has this advice column, and this advice column gets this Duke's, Henry, it gets his family into a really tight spot. And so he finds out a way to take her paper from her if she won't help him. Very cold and calculating, but he's hiding, like, he's doing all this. He has lots of siblings, and the scandal that is happening, he feels like is her fault. Even though we learn through the book, like, obviously it's not her fault. The advice that she gives someone, it's still up to the person whether they follow it or not. But it ends up in like a deal with the devil where he's like, either you help me fix this situation and like change your advice, or I'm going to take your paper from you. And then you won't have anything. And so seems super horrible. But then this ends up being a forced proximity. And the more and more layers that are revealed about Henry, I really enjoyed this. So I did end up giving it 4 stars just because, again, it has a trope that I don't like. However, I would almost call Henry a beta hero. And in the way that I really like, where he's someone who is strong and tough and puts on this veneer, but he's just a cinnamon roll underneath. He just knows that in the time that he lives and the things that are expected of him, he has to put up, like he can't do what his heart wants because he has so many people counting on him. And I really like a hero like that. And again, our heroine, she's really into the suffrage movement and she is a working woman, and those type of things give her a bad name. And the deal that they make, he agrees to help her sister get a good match in exchange for this whole deal that they're doing as well. Because she doesn't care about herself, but she cares about her sister having a good match and having what she wants. So it was good. It was 4 stars. So I ended up having mostly 4-star reads for this, but still, I mean, my huge stack over there, I want to be getting through these historical romances, and so I'm really glad I did this. I still have 2 more romances that people asked me to read, so I will maybe try to get to those this month. But now I need to switch back to contemporary because I have a bunch of buddy reads starting the week of the 9th that I need to devote my attention to. But I'm really glad that I did this. I hope you enjoyed this. I haven't done many reading vlogs. I know I just did one for the Duke and I, but I don't do like weekly vlogging anymore because it's just too much on top of my schedule to remember to film clips like that. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching this. I also want to encourage you to check out channel memberships if you want to spend more time with me. And make sure you check out all my socials down below if you want to hang out. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.